How are you doing, Rachel? Nice to meet you. My name is.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. I'm doing great. First of all, Calabar is like an area. Is it like a state or a city in Nigeria?
Okay, so Calabar is the capital of a state in Nigeria.
I see. I see.
Yeah, Calabar is the capital of a state in Nigeria, which is called Cross River State.
Oh.
So, yeah, so we're actually like the number one tourism state in Nigeria.
Oh, wow. That's so nice to know. I've never
Yeah.
been to Nigeria.
We have the Calabar Festival and the Carnival Calabar. Like, that's one of our biggest brands, in our states.
Oh,
So,
nice. Well, the reason that I got in touch with you, I don't know
mm,
if you are kind of seeing what's going on. So I'm a former Miss Universe Kenya, but I'm also a TV host
yeah,
and a journalist, and I'm based in Hollywood. But I keep a close eye on Miss Universe Kenya because, that's my alma mater. It's what basically
okay.
led me to the rest of my life. But there were a lot of untoward things happening
Mm,
this year, and I sort of
mm,
became the whistleblower because um, I started to see things not going right and corruption, and I want
mm.
there to be a change in our pageant back home. So, what happened from your side of the story?
Rachel, hello, can you hear me, Rachel?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so just like I told you, my name is. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the head of digital media for Miss Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So when you sent your message, I had informed my head of production. Like, we have a request from a former Miss Universe concerning this issue,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like just tell her to go and read our response. That's it. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yes.
But as a journalist too, um, I just felt that I had an obligation to talk to you one on one. So
Yes.
because
Thank you.
we help each other, we help each other out. You understand?
Yes.
We're colleagues in this business, so it's good to have. It's always good to have an unbiased view about things, and hear it, for yourself. So, but I'm going to tell you, how it is,
Yes.
how it happened. Just like you said, from now, there's no organization that doesn't have issues.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, if I now, for instance, I have an issue with my head of production in East Africa, and the next thing everybody wakes up tomorrow morning and they're seeing me on social media, Miss Africa is supposed to pay me so money. They did not pay me. This organization, I don't know what happened. I don't know. You get what I mean?
Yes.
But you see, but the thing is that we are responsible to each other.
Yes.
Organization issues, and we have to sort it out internally. Like I told when we sat down and I was telling the team, I said, you see, if you are guilty, that's when you have sleepless nights.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are straightforward and you do the right things, when crisis comes, you just coast. You just sip your coffee, you laugh, and you ride the storm because you know that your clear conscience is what is going to make the universe work for you. But now back to Irene.
Mm-hmm.
So Irene collects her $35,000, and that's why when we put out our statement, we started releasing pictures of her collecting the money.
Yes, I saw that.
Videos and pictures, because you see, that's the reason we do all that. And that's the reason we put the money in transparent bags so that the world can see that you have collected your money. Mm-hmm. She collected her money and she collected her car. Now, after Irene won, COVID now happened. In fact, she was one of the worst hit queen because she couldn't come to Nigeria because of COVID. So all the activities that we normally do with our queens, she wasn't able to do them. It was no fault of anyone, and everybody understood. Yes. Now, while she was out, a car was parked waiting for her. Now, by the time COVID, in fact, I think it was remember when we had NSAS in Nigeria?
Yes.
Good. Even with the whole COVID, we braced the storm, and on October 20th, we were billed to travel to Rwanda that day. Mm-hmm. and that was when the shooting at Lekki happened. We took the last flight from Calabar into Lagos that day, and the shooting happened, and there was a curfew, and the flight to Rwanda was cancelled. We were locked down in the hotel for 2 nights before flights were opened. Then we were able to leave. We went to Rwanda and went to Kenya, and we had, we always have like very big auditions in Nairobi, anytime we go there. And so she was Queen, we went to Nairobi, we had the auditions. In fact, not only Nairobi, some of us, we didn't make it. They didn't accept our COVID certificates into Rwanda. So we kind of divided the team. So some of us went to Nairobi, some went to Rwanda. So she was in Rwanda. She had the audition in Rwanda. She came back to Nairobi. We came back to Nigeria, and we did all that, stuff, just preparing for the next event. All our queens have always been very cautious and respectful, and not just because they want to be, because we are.
Okay.
You understand? We treat our queens with all the respect. All for the 6-7 years we've been in Miss Africa, you have never seen any scandal or anything about a sex scandal or people wanting to sleep with someone or trying to collect money. So we look at our girls like a product. We take care of them. We nurture them. We have queens who are doing wonderful things all around the world. Right. Even before Irene. So Irene came, we saw her very naive, starting up. 2020 was so unfortunate. She couldn't come to Nigeria because that, when you come to Nigeria and start, meeting people and going about our activities, I think it helps you to grow and, see life in a different kind of way. But she didn't get to experience that. So by the time we went for the audition, we came back, there were no issues. When we went to Nairobi, we had no issues at all with, having her to do stuff. She was very charming, very all right. We came back to Nigeria. We had the show in 2020 and she handed over. But for me personally, I just realized that, she has, it seems she has a dependent circle around her, a dependent family around her. And sometimes that can make you make some certain decisions, they're the ones that can push you and tell you, do this, do this, do this. So that aside, we get to Nigeria, everything goes well. She was very, very calm, very graceful all through the period. We come back to Nigeria, she now hands over. Now, your car is a left-hand drive, Nigeria, and Nairobi is a right-hand drive.
Yeah.
So, first of all, you have to import the car to Nairobi, and you now have to change it to a right-hand drive. Now, do you want to do all that, or do you want to sell the car? Now, you know that even if, how it is, and I'm sure it happens everywhere in the world, you know how it is where you can buy a brand new car today for, say, $1 million, or $500,000, $300,000, $200,000, yeah, today. And tomorrow, you want to sell it. So the person who wants to buy it, you say, I bought this car yesterday, $100,000. You say, that was yesterday, this is today. You're selling off. It will not pay you $100,000. It will depreciate.
No, it depreciates a lot. The moment you drive it off the lot, and I know because I drive $100,000 car, the moment you drive it off the lot, it's like a quarter down.
Yeah, thank you. So now, so what we do, like for most queens who are not from here who win the car, we're like, okay, this car, if you put this car in the markets, they are going to price it down, because they know, hey, you just want to sell this car, you can't take it to your country. So what we do as an organization is that we give you, we always take the first right of refusal because we know the value of the car. So within the team now sources and says, do you want to sell your car? We'll give you a good price for the car. Because if you call anyone, if you try to do it on your own, they're going to swindle you and pay you like $10,000. But since we know the value of the car, you will not get less than $15,000 for the car. And as at that time, it was a good deal. Because I know the car was about $25,000 or so then. So if in fact some queens, most of them used to collect 20K. We always make sure that they get like $20K for the car, so that so they get value for their money because we know the value of the car. So we look for people that know the value, who we know will pay for that value. So Irene makes an arrangement and for the car. Now this Malaysia trip was supposed to happen, but COVID happened. So even the woman, the head of the organization that gave her that Malaysia ticket, that woman is almost 70 or 75, almost 80 years old. So at her age, you can imagine that she did not even come out of any place for the whole year because one of the people that they said, hey, they are vulnerable to COVID. So that woman was on lockdown fully for the whole year. And of course, once the year passes and the rain passes, you know how it is. Everybody was just trying to recoup and come back out of COVID. So we're like, Irene, however it goes, even if this woman doesn't come through, we'll find a way, to work it out. But let's based on the fact that let's be realistic to ourselves. We all know what happened. So let's let it slide. You got your $35,000 fine. You have your arrangement for your car. You collected $10,000 upfront and you left. Now, Irene is in communication with, she's in communication with my head of production. And it's like, because of COVID, this money has been delayed, but you will get the money.
Yes.
You will get the money. Before we come to Nairobi, you will get the money. There's no way we will even come to Nairobi that you won't get this money. We are working on it. The people are just cash strapped, but you will get it.
And at this point, sorry to interrupt, but at this point, she has a total of $45,000 that she's gotten from you guys. 35,000 win, 10,000 for the sale of the car. So now the balance is 8,000.
Yes, and she has handed over. She handed over in 2020. She handed over. When this thing happened, she was not even a reigning queen. She had handed over. So now she hands over and she goes back to Nairobi. And they are discussing and waiting for the money to be sent. Now, that same dependent family, I noticed because when she released that statement, she has some group of friends who like I kind of monitor. I see them. You know how we do our work. Sometimes you just see things you're not supposed to see. But I just know that there's a family. She has a group of friends. So that pressure, because they're telling her like, you've not gotten your money, man. These Niger guys are scams. These Niger guys don't mind. They want to scam you. You have to deal with them. You have to let the world know. Why would they owe you this money? So you see, on your own, you might not really want to do something, but it depends on your circle of influence that is around you. And I know that it was from that pressure. The thing is, you are talking to someone, I'm sending you messages, we are discussing about the car. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you wake up in the morning, and now Irene puts up a statement. Now, there's no problem to even put up a statement if it is real and true. We don't even have it, but now Irene now puts up a statement, making it look like she didn't even get her prize money. And that really hurt us because we are like,
that's the thing. The way it was written was written carefully to make it seem like that.
Yes. So and that is that in itself is deceptive.
Yes.
And we're like, but Irene, after all we've done for you, why would you go to this length? So that's it was so shocking. And when it happened, and I noticed that she tried to call me. But by the time she tried to call me, I was already I was like heartbroken, like
of course.
It's someone that we went all out for. You get what I mean? We went all out for. We give our queens the best. When for the fact that if you are a foreigner and you even win, it's even worse because you are not from Nigeria.
Yes.
So you have to make sure you have to make sure you get the right meals. Like everything. And we're like, how will Irene just go? Or who is making her do such a thing? Because he was he was just like a lie. So and people of course I come in, these pageant people pay her our money. This is how you pageant people do. You must pay her money, pay her money. So we looked at her statement quietly, and that's why we just came up with our own of what the real situation, and that's our statement, 100% as it was, and the thing about people is that when you come out and say, even if you come out and say I owe you money, what never happens, and that's why sometimes I hate media, because what happens is that when you collect the money, nobody ever comes back to say, oh, you remember that thing I told you people that they were owing me money?
And
okay,
that's the other thing.
Everything is okay.
Her boyfriend was in my comments yesterday telling me basically that, do you have proof that she got paid that $8,000? Because we have proof she was not. So I wanted to ask you, was the balance paid finally?
The balance was paid finally. And I can even get proof of that. The balance was paid finally.
It's actually the boyfriend. I was told that's the boyfriend. He was challenging me. They were trying to make me, because she has this, the way you say she has a dependent family. I picked up on that too, because I've been calling them the Irene comment mafia. Like, there's a group of people who come and they attack you in the comments and they challenge you. They're all saying the same things. And then that's when I found out one is her business partner, another one is her boyfriend. The others had the same last name, so they were relatives. And they were trying to make me look like I'm hating on her, and they were like calling me a liar, and they're like, well, do you have proof? If I never say that the 8,000 was paid, but she's like, they were challenging me on that. So I said, you know what, I'll be in touch with the organization and I'll find out, but we'll see.
Rachel, you are on point. You observed the same things and the right things that I observed. So now, even when my head of production, when he now sent the money to her, and I'm now like, okay, let's wait and see if she pulls down the post, or if she's going to go back to tell her people that the money has been sent to her. And of course, she will not do that. I throw the guy seriously, because when we released our own statements, and they started coming to attack us, I was so ready for them.
They really do attack. Yeah, so it was the same thing during your time, right? Oh my God, I'm so happy that you're saying this, because this is what I've been, they attack, like a coordinated attack. And they've actually controlled the entire narrative in the Kenyan thing happening now. They've managed to turn everyone to where nobody even wants to hear the organization's side, because they've already, when she posted her thing, there were like already 100 people there commenting a certain way. So they control the narrative. Then they go under the blogs. The only place they did not succeed was under my comments, but like they really do a coordinated attack. And I found out they do it from a WhatsApp group, and they come saying the same things, and they're like really derogatory.
Yeah. So now what I did, I just told my team members, you guys, don't worry. It's a good time. We're not really busy. I'm on holiday. Don't worry, I got this. So what I did, I just flagged them up. Anywhere, if 100 people comment, 100 people will go and comment back.
Yes.
And I wasn't even using numerous accounts. I used only one account. I used one account, and I kept on following them up. And I used like my personal blog, which is Events in Cross River, which they know is connected to Miss Africa. I followed them up. So I just flagged it that anytime anybody flags anything on Miss Africa, let me know. So immediately I'm looking at my screen, and I just see, they've commented again. I go and comment back. I kept on firing them till one of them now said, you think you can just come and be replying us? You think you're just replying us?
They don't like it. They don't like it. Yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. Oh my gosh. Yes.
So one of the people that asked and said, "Oh, you keep on replying us." I said, "Don't worry. I want to know if you have more data than I do. Let's go."
These people are crazy. Wow, good to know.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what really happened to her, but that circle, she has a very toxic circle.
Interesting. Yeah.
A very toxic circle. Yeah, because whatever happened in South Africa, Miss Universe Kenya, just like you said, if she's a queen, all she needed to do when you come back, you have issues, you sit down with your team and you address them. Social media can never solve any problem for you. Social media can never solve any problem for you. They don't understand it. And when you I watched that video from the beginning to the end. I watched that video, and I'm asking myself that, okay, you are saying the organization is incompetent. What have you ever done in your life? What have you ever worked in an organization? Have you ever catered for people? Before I call you incompetent, that means I must be competent now. Because I can't be incompetent and become incompetent. I must have a level of experience or professionalism that will make me look at someone and say you are incompetent.
Yeah, like for example, being that you have run Miss Africa Calabar, you can call another pageant organizer incompetent because you know what it takes.
Yes, exactly.
And also, I saw that in some pictures she was hanging out with the actress Regina Daniels. What are some of the things that you guys did together that were like cool? So I hear that she traveled to different countries, but from what I'm hearing, she traveled to Nigeria, to Rwanda. You guys came to Kenya. What other cool activities did she do? Who did you introduce her to? Like, how did the crown change her life?
Now, in Nigeria, after she won, she left. Like I told you, just because of the whole COVID issue, she couldn't and she couldn't come to Nigeria for that period. But when in that October, and that's why I told you she was like the worst hit queen. Because imagine from January to October, nothing was being done because the whole world was on lockdown. But from that moment, when we moved in October to Rwanda, in Rwanda,
yes,
she met the ambassadors in Rwanda.
Okay.
She met the minister in Rwanda, because we have like some great contacts in Rwanda who like introduced her to a lot of influential people in Rwanda. They discussed some kind of partnerships of some sort. Then when we were in Nairobi, we introduced her to a personnel that works with the president of Nairobi. We introduced her to the chief of in Kenya.
The president
we
of
introduced
Kenya.
her to one of the high chief personnel of the president in Kenya. We introduced her to the chief of staff to the president in Kenya. We at that time, I think we had the ambassador to South Africa, to Nigeria. South Africa was in Nairobi at that time as well. We introduced her to him. In fact, we were supposed to go to SA, but it's just the timing was short. I don't think there's anyone that she didn't meet in Nigeria. Maybe it's only the president of Nigeria that she didn't get to meet. But for every other, there are a lot of influential people, captains of industries that she was exposed to, that she talked to, and we believe that these contacts is what takes you further.
Yeah.
All those contacts and exposure is what takes you to the next level.
Yeah.
And all these things happen just within 2 months. Just within 2 months, October, November, December.
Yeah. Imagine if there was no COVID. Yeah.
Yes, just imagine if there was no COVID. So back to October, November was a roller coaster. We came to, not even only after Rwanda, we now came back. She now went to almost all the cities. We were in Abuja, we were in Lagos, we came back to Calabar, So she toured Nigeria, got the full experience within that short period.
And did you introduce her to celebrities like Regina Daniels and things like that?
Wow. See, Regina Daniels, Tiwa Savage, just call them. You can just keep calling the names. Everywhere we go, even actors, anywhere we go, of course, we always have these guys, who are pals, who come around. I can't even keep on naming like the people she met. I can't even really remember, but just call them. Any artist that has performed for us before, like where we always hang out, we always chill in Lagos. She met DSTV celebrity, multi-choice celebrities, different sorts of
She was
people.
hanging in the high circles in Nigeria.
Anywhere she goes is VIP, and people, people respect, the Miss Africa queens because of the way they carry themselves, and aside the way you carry yourself, the way they carry you, because people watch the way you treat your queen. You don't know, people are watching, but the way you treat your queen is what makes them understand. Because people are just quick to say,
you pay them well as well. I mean, you give them a lot of money, so people know that this is not,
Well, now we give it at $5,000, but anywhere we're flying you to, it is all expense paid. We don't ask you for 1 naira of that money. We don't tell you to take care of your tickets with that money. We still get to do outfits for you, whether even if you want that money or not. We still did outfits for her, even for the main event. Even for the main,
that's what Miss Universe Kenya claims too. They covered all expenses for other things. They never told her to go use her own prize money to do it. And so they've been very, the Miss Universe Kenya team, I spoke with them, they've been very traumatized. They feel like they were really traumatized by this experience because behind the scenes, it's just, it's young people working with her and they adored her. They worship the ground she walked on. They feel very betrayed right now. They're being threatened. They just don't understand what happened. And it's their first year doing this. So clearly they have a lot to learn, but I think they also really favored her as well. So that's something for them to deal with. But did you have the same feelings of just feeling really, I mean, you told me a little bit, but just feeling betrayed and feeling a little bit traumatized, how could you do this to us? And in light of everything.
Oh, yeah. You definitely feel like that, you definitely have that feeling because it's, you have good intentions. So when it happens that, what happened is that it's a personal matter. You get what I mean? It was a personal matter. You sold your car to a third party. You were promised a trip to Malaysia from a third party. Right, all the while we've been telling you that no problem, we'll discuss with this third party and let you know. But this is the situation on ground. This woman has been locked down because of COVID. We've told her, we've contacted her. And we told her, we said, now when you come to Nigeria, you meet the woman one-on-one, you meet her one-on-one and talk to her, and we'll see how we'll now resurrect that discussion. So even if she doesn't want to go to the Malaysia, she might probably be able to make a commitment or say, okay, let me just give you a payment and let it go. But I think when we came to Nigeria, because of the rush, October, November, back to back, we weren't able to do that because even that same COVID, it was still even that COVID year, that woman didn't really come out because that year we didn't do a carnival. She's like the head of a carnival band, but there was no carnival that year. So the woman was locked down in Lagos. So she didn't even get to come to Calabar at all. And we couldn't even see her in Lagos. But again, the car was a personal matter. You get what I mean? So you have a personal matter with someone. So why didn't she even come out and say, oh, you are owing me money for my car. Pay me the money for my car. I sold my car. They have not paid me for the person who is owing me hasn't paid me for my car. But you now release a statement which is deceptive. You see, is that part?
Yes. I think everybody can see that. I caught that. When I read your response, I was like, wait a minute. Because if she had said, this is how much money they paid me, they gave me $35,000 upfront, then they gave me the car, then they sold the car for me and gave me additional $10,000. If she put that in there, people would have been like, girl, are you crazy? You're telling African girls not to go compete when you pocketed $45,000. Do you know what that could do for a young girl? But you made it seem like you never got anything. She did that on purpose. Yes, that's exactly how I explained it in the video too. So I'm so happy that,
I think for someone that, collected that kind of money to now come out and say and tell girls not to register for the pageant, it shows a high level of ingratitude. And a very high level of ingratitude. That's like you want to just bring down the whole organization.
Burn it. That's what I said before. You want to burn it down on your way out so that nobody else benefits. Yeah. Why would you tell young African girls not to go somewhere where they can make, even if they'll maybe be a little balanced, but $45,000 is not a little money, even in America, even in Hollywood where I live. Like, what are we talking about? And these are the people she's saying didn't care about her, were incompetent. So I saw that and I was like, there's a narrative. So when I heard your story, I was like, wow, this is the same story where you misconstrue things on purpose to get that sympathy vote, and then you burn down the organization on your way out. Now other girls feel like they can trust the organization, the public feels like they can trust the organization, the sponsors feel like they cannot trust the organization because you did this to them, and it's so wrong. And the biggest problem she's faced is me, because at the end of the day, I'm the reason why people listen to all of this, because when I raised the alarm and I talked about it, everybody listened, and she didn't respond till I talked about it. But the thing is, I have a vested interest because this is my pageant alma mater. I care about it. It changed my life, and I wanted to continue changing young girls' lives, and I wanted to be there for years to come. So when I see a queen doing wrong and I know it's wrong, I try to speak out. But the way her mafia of commenters have been trying to bully the whole situation and strong arm their way, but I've been fighting back. So I've been their biggest headache. They hate to see me coming, but this helps me just be able to confirm, yes, it's true, this did happen. It's wrong what they did. Super wrong.
No, so that's super wrong. You now tell other girls not to compete. And when we saw the post from Miss Universe Kenya, in our group, everyone in our group is like, oh, Irene is at it again. Irene is at it again. And
of course,
bad vibes all the time. So we're now like, okay, it seems this is a trick. So what happened to us was just it was just her and her family showing their character.
Absolutely.
And it makes you. So someone was now like, these Kenyan people, why are they like this? And I'm now like,
and that's not fair. It's not Kenyan people. Kenyan people are the sweetest people.
I said, we've been to Nairobi, we've been with people in Kenya, we know how they treated us. We said, Kenyan people are not like this.
Not
it is a personal thing. I said, it is a personal trait. If we hadn't gone to Nairobi, maybe we would be thinking, yes, that's how they are. But we met Kenyans in Nigeria. We went there. We stayed there with the people. We know what we saw.
No, Kenyan
people are not like
Kenyan
that.
people will give you the shirt off their back. They'll go hungry just because you're the visitor. They want to make sure you're comfortable. Kenyans are very sweet people. This character is very unique. I've never come across something like this. But it's sad because if you guys hadn't come to Nairobi, if you had said, we don't want to crown another Kenyan queen anytime soon, I wouldn't have blamed you because of what you'd seen. So it's like, again, burning the house down on your way out and putting a really, oh my gosh. And it's like, you're just not a team player. You don't play well. And it seems how the only feedback she takes is from these family members. And it seems also they might just be controlling her so they can make sure that they have a vested interest in everything she benefits from, which is sad. Because if that's the case, she will have to learn how to cut those parasites off, because that's really parasitic behavior, but it explains the way they move. The way they all come in droves and the way they attack and the way they this. And I'm like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I said something, when it happened to us, I said something, I told my team guys that what she doesn't realize is that she's putting a stigma on herself.
Yes.
So, I said she's putting a stigma on herself, but she doesn't realize it. Because when people see that you're having all these kind of issues, people who are objective will sit down and look back and say,
thank you.
I don't think we can have anything to do with this girl.
And that's exactly what happened with me when I saw it. Yeah.
And even endorsements will run from you because they're like, if we have an endorsement with this girl, if we have a small challenge, she'll probably take us to the cleaners. So, and so now when I now saw her in Miss Universe, I'm like, okay. In fact, that Miss Universe, she doesn't know that it was from her winning Miss Africa that propelled her
Oh,
into the next level.
not just Miss Universe. I heard that the prize money you gave her is what she used to send herself to Miss Grand International, where she, and then,
Exactly.
so by the time she gets to Miss Universe Kenya, she acts like she knows everything. She doesn't want to hear from anyone because she's saying, I've already won Miss Africa and I was top 20 at Miss
Yeah.
Grand International. These people can't tell me anything. That was the attitude,
Yeah.
really. But if it wasn't for your money, I'm made to understand because she went to Miss Grand right away. She was able to afford the
Yeah.
registration fees. So you
Yeah.
definitely gave her that fast platform that propelled her. But the truth of the matter is, had Miss Universe Kenya done their research, they would have seen this. But it takes this happening for them to see. But I'm here to make sure that people understand what happened and they stop ostracizing this organization, and they also stop ostracizing me because half people are trying to put it out there that I am jealous of her and I have a vendetta against her. And it's like, I'm 38 years old. I'm very blessed. I live an amazing life in Beverly Hills. What am I jealous of her for? Why was I not jealous of all the other girls who came after me before her? We are all in good terms. We all have a sisterhood. What is so special about her that I would be jealous of her? We even have one of us who made it to top 6. Why would I not be jealous of all those other ones, you know? So it's just, it's such an interesting dynamic with all of them. But I'm so grateful that you were able to just speak with me and give me this clarity. It's like God sent, because I just done the part 3 and I just explained everything. And then right when I was done, you called me and you texted me back and I said, oh my gosh, it's like God wanted this to be a part of it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that was the audio. You listened to it from the beginning to the end. It's at this point that I wish we were live so that, you guys could give me your feedback. But let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think about this? Do you think it is coincidental that she went through this with this organization, then went through this with the other one? And you can hear this this organization actually sympathizing with Miss Universe Kenya. When they had it happen, they were like, there she goes again. She's doing it to somebody else. And they were like, yep, bad vibes. Same thing that happened to us. Except this time it was to Miss Universe Kenya, which is, even though it's a local pageant, it gives you access to so much more. So how is it that you keep having this, how is it that you keep having these problems with these organizations? You know how rare it is for a queen to resign, but then for you to have to denounce your organizations twice after they invested so much money in you and pretty much try to make it seem like they were incompetent, they did not do what they were supposed to do, but you had no problem pocketing the money. The thing that shocked me the most is the way he just confirms everything that I was feeling. I'd already, if you guys were in my comment section on Instagram, you saw me going back and forth with the comment mafia. First, I discovered one of them was her business partner, someone called Connie. Then her boyfriend was also there going hard for her. And by the way, her boyfriend tried to say in the comments that she was never paid the remaining $8,000. So, how do you explain that away? And then also just describing to me how they had to go to great lengths to fight back against the smear campaign in the comments by the people they were sending. And I'm like, this is exactly what I was saying. And the crazy part is when I shot part 3, I hadn't spoken to this man yet. That happened afterwards. So for him to tell me that, I was like, mind blown. It's the exact same MO, but they did this to other people before. And it's so evil that you go into these organizations, light it on fire, light a match, light the building on fire as you walk out to try and burn everything to the ground. It is so selfish and it is so evil. And not only does it hurt the organization, obviously, you had the man saying how betrayed they felt, but also it takes away opportunities from future contestants who want to contest. How are you going to tell girls, like you put it in bold capital letters, you put it in bold letters that you don't want them to, you want them to rescind their applications to compete in this organization? Why would you do that knowing that, hey, I might not have my $8,000 yet, but yeah, they did give me a life changing $45,000 that I did a lot with, and you don't want to give that opportunity to another girl? Same thing you do with Miss Universe Kenya. You burned it down to where nobody even wanted to hear their side of the story, because in Africa, it's always, the man against the establishment. But sometimes the establishment is trying to do the right thing and the man is the one who's wrong. Like I said before, sometimes in a David versus Goliath situation, it is actually David that's the villain and Goliath could be the victim sometimes. So there you have it.
Let me know your thoughts down below. I was not backing down from this because I knew that I was onto something and I was on the side of truth. Even before I knew about this organization, I knew there was more to it. But then when I had my suspicions, I'm like, well, why is this happening after the Miss Universe pageant with everything that I know? And you're resigning instead of like kind of taking responsibility. And then you go on this really well thought out smear campaign. Now, this organization comes out and says this. Let's use our critical thinking skills and let's demand better, not only from the Miss Universe Kenya organization or all these other pageants in Kenya, but also from the contestants as well. We want contestants with humility and integrity who are there to represent the country and to do things for the betterment of people around them, the society, the country, everything, and then finally themselves. Because by the time you do all these things, you will also be elevating yourself and be able to use this platform to build yourself up as a young lady. Now, fast forward to Miss Universe Kenya. And then I'll talk about the information from the girls last and wrap this up. Fast forward to Miss Universe Kenya. You went and you put out this damaging statement about them and you basically blamed them for everything. And I felt like I would have been on your side more if you said, this is where I'm taking accountability and holding myself accountable and saying, I didn't do this part right, I didn't do this part right. But what you did is you acted like you did everything right and then some, and then they just completely dropped the ball, which in turn made them feel like they want to defend themselves. And then Kenyans have a problem with an organization defending itself. And you guys, it is absolutely normal for a brand to defend its brand integrity. I even put up this message on my Instagram. Let me put it on the screen right now because it's right. Actually, let me read it out. Let me just say what I said. Guys, Miss Universe Kenya is well within their rights to respond to allegations made. Let them express themselves. Last year, Miss USA and Miss Teen USA abruptly resigned. When they did, Miss USA put out a strong statement defending itself as an organization. Had the resigned Miss USA gone ahead and made a video making allegations against the organization, I guarantee they would have responded in kind as well and done some sort of video response or press conference. The thing that prevented them getting there is the fact that the resigned queens honored their NDAs and remained silent and walked away. Miss Universe itself had to put out a strong statement recently defending itself after a damaging documentary about the owners was aired on ABC. A brand is a personal entity, sort of like a person. A brand must retain the right to defend its integrity. It's its right. I know in Kenya, brands rarely ever address allegations publicly, but this is standard practice worldwide to preserve social currency. Social currency is a real thing. This is how they build trust with their audience. This is how they build trust with their sponsors. You made some very strong allegations, completely ravishing everything this organization stands for. Of course, they're going to want to come back and say something. But I think in Kenya, Kenyans are not used to that. But you have to understand that Miss Universe Kenya is playing on a global level. So other non-Kenyan entities are also looking to them to have an explanation. And they also have a responsibility to their audience and to their sponsors as well. So I thought it was a good thing. Let them come and tell their side of the story. But by this point, Irene's message had already done the damage. And don't forget about her comment mafia. When she posted her post, already the first of 100 comments, well, in my opinion, from her comment mafia, just because it's the same people I keep seeing everywhere, just reiterating what she'd said, bashing Miss Universe Kenya, bashing me as well, but mostly bashing Miss Universe Kenya and painting a certain narrative. And now it became that narrative rules the day. And then when you see these two young women, the same age as Irene, who are working with her in this organization, that are trying to say, look, we did try. And another thing, I also didn't like that. I felt like Miss Universe Kenya could have taken more accountability for the things they did wrong. I wanted you to address the message or teach thing. I wanted you to say where you went wrong. So both parties, in my opinion, did this thing where they took no accountability. All they did was finger point. So that was not the best. But at the same time, if Irene was worth listening to, so are they. Another thing I picked up on, people keep saying, Irene spoke with receipts. You see, in PR, we have something that says, whoever speaks first wins. So when two sides are feuding, the one who runs and tells the story first, they win, even if they tell it in an inaccurate way. For me personally, because this is not my first time in this rodeo, when I looked at the so-called receipts everybody keeps saying Irene has, post those receipts as she's talking. She's just putting up text messages. Post them and actually read them. You'll see a lot of those so-called receipts, they don't even coincide with what she's saying. So it's like they've been very meticulously crafted to look like they're telling a certain story, similar to what she did with Miss Universe, with Miss Africa Calabar. She put out a statement and she very carefully omitted some things and arranged them in a way that makes them look a certain way. I felt that she did the same thing with Miss Universe Kenya, because when I look at those receipts, they were not receding really. Like they were not really related to what's going on. And that's the difference between her video and what I felt with Miss Universe.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to add here that what I meant is what I saw her do in her video is she would call out dates and say on the date of this and this day, like maybe 3rd September, I say da 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 da. And then as she's saying that, there's a screenshot of a text message. But then if you actually pause and read those text messages, they were not lining up with what she was saying. Sometimes they looked completely random, and I took my time to pause them all. The first time I saw it, I was like, okay, receipts. But then I came back and I saw, wait, this doesn't quite explain what he just said. He just said on this day, this happened. Then you put a text, but the text is like it's a bit unrelated. And I realized it kept on happening, but people did not pick up on that.
Kenya's video, when you'd, because I would pause theirs too, and I would see when they would say at this day she didn't show up, and you pause and you look at the text, you see them asking her, why didn't you show up for the catwalk classes today? Then she says, she gives her excuse and what happened. So again, there's a lot of manipulation there. Both sides are right and both sides are wrong, but I felt that there was a misrepresentation. And then I look at history. This Miss Universe Kenya organization, this is the first time in the rodeo. Then I look at this girl who actually did this to a previous organization. Now, girl, you are either the unluckiest pageant winner alive to keep having such issues with your organizations. Organizations, by the way, that paid you a lot of money. We know how much she got from Miss Africa Calabar. We already know by this point she walked away with 5.8 million shillings, $45,000, and whatever other packs that she had during her reign. With Miss Universe Kenya, right off the bat, they gave you 1 million Kenya shillings. The last time a Kenyan pageant winner won 1 million shillings was, guess what? Me in 2005. I won 1 million shillings, which is a lot of money for a 19-year-old at the time. It was worth a lot. But I didn't get half the things you got. I was actually impressed with some of the things they gave you. Like when I saw that whole itinerary, honey, we were freestyling it. We were freestyling it. But I was out there making it seem like everything was perfect, but it wasn't. And then they spent all this money for you on a wardrobe. They didn't do that with me. I remember the owner of the Miss Universe Kenya pageant taking me to shop and me spending 100,000 on clothes. I wanted to cry. But like, I had to do that out of pocket with the money they gave me. They showed receipts as they spent an extra 1 million shillings. Now, granted, I'll be honest with you, Miss Universe Kenya, when it comes to these outfits you're making, I liked some of them definitely better than what Irene had, but overall to me the quality was not there. So for example, I really hated the kitenge, the Ankara looking one. Like that was just, it was not going to give nothing. The first outfit with like the Messiah blanket, the suit, I thought that was nice. I thought the blue one was cool too. The white one was okay. But I feel like, honestly, you could have saved a lot of money if you just went and bought pre-made clothes. Someone in my comments said they should have even bought Fashion Nova, and I agree. But when I come, and then I did not see the outfits that Irene showed in her video that she claimed were yours, but you guys didn't show them either. So I don't know if, so the insinuation was that she lied and that those were not your outfits. But at the same time, when I look at those outfits, they look pretty, the ones that she showed, they look pretty similar to the type of quality she was wearing anyway. So I don't know if it's that some of the outfits that Miss Universe Kenya had were really that bad, or it was hers. And again, she was doing that little manipulation in the video. Either way, next time, please, you'd better even shop Fashion Nova and just, because most of those clothes are day-to-day clothes. Like when she goes on trips, when they go for rehearsals, when they're hanging around the hotel, and then in the evening when they have their dinners. So you can buy ready-made clothes and save so much more money instead of having a whole wardrobe made from scratch, you know, and then only have a few pieces made, like commission a few pieces so that they can really focus on those pieces and give you magnificent pieces. And then also outsource some. Like if I was to give suggestions, I would suggest some designers here that would give you stuff from the showroom. Anyway, but the point is they were able to show that they were very supportive, right? So when it comes to Miss Universe Kenya, they give her 1 million Kenya shillings. What would most Kenyans in today's Kenyan economy do with 1 million Kenya shillings? Let's just start there. Because in my time, I got 1 million shillings, but that's about all I got, honey. It was good. It was a flex. But I had to use, like, I was like, ooh, nilikuwa nasikia uchungu, because I had to use it to, like, find my wardrobe, my wardrobe. They were not doing this for me. There were no, but okay, they did give me, to their credit, they gave me I don't remember having more catwalk classes, but they did give me speech classes, which the skills I used to date. Also, the owner of the pageant, her husband comes from a huge Swiss hotelier family. They gave me meticulous etiquette classes that I used to date, and I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, actually, I would do some catwalk classes as well. I do remember that, like one on one. But a lot of parks you got, I didn't get. You got this beautiful house in Karen. Karen is a suburb of Kenya, because I know I have a lot of non-Kenyans who watch this. Even my American friends watch this and my American followers, which is interesting, which shows you that we also have interesting stories to tell that people from other parts of the world can tune into. Let me get myself together. So, Karen is a suburb of Kenya. And if I were to compare it to Los Angeles, I would say it's kind of like Bel Air or even Beverly Hills. It's a very posh suburb. So they get her this, no, I thought it was just an apartment at first, but actually, I thought it was like an apartment in Kilimani or Kilaleshwa, but no, this is like a whole townhouse, and I'm going to try to find those pictures and put them here. A whole townhouse that they commissioned for her to live in for the period of her reign, a year, fully furnished in a very posh suburb. Now, this was one of the things I wanted to address because Miss Universe Kenya talked about how she refused to move into the home. And then you have Irene's comment mafia there who've been sent. Why are you not saying that Irene didn't want to move into that home because she wanted to be closer to her family? So this is what the Miss Universe Kenya told me. And I did demand to have a conversation with the Miss Universe Kenya team. And I'll tell you what I found out from them, because even the big man himself, Ababu, was a part of it. But I appreciate, because I was like, you give me your official side of the story then, so I can know moving forward what's what. And they did, and I appreciate that, but the other side still never did. So they're like, they told me, what was told to me is that she turned down that house for two reasons. One, she said it's too far. And two, she said, give it to the first runners up. Sorry. This is funny to me. She said to them, give it to the first runners up. I don't need it. I'm going to Miss Universe and I'm going to win. Then I'm going to go straight to New York after that. So I don't need to live there. So with that in mind, this is why I come back to that statement she made with that 12-minute video she made. It was misleading. This is proof right here. You said you don't need to live there because you're going straight to Miss Universe and you're going to win. And what they tell me is, you believed so hard you were going to win, which is great. Believe in yourself. But my whole thing is, you've been to an international pageant before. In order for you to be so confident you're going to win, you had to have felt so confident in the wardrobe you were packing, in your presentation, to feel like, I'm going to go there and slay. Which takes me back to my original video where you did do your own thing because you wanted to showcase Inspiring. You knew these people are spending $1 million shillings on your wardrobe. You went behind their back. Even though you were going for fittings and everything, you still made your own outfit and you made sure it coincided with your Inspiring, and they were all terrible. I'm sorry. Your outfits were giving very much arts and crafts and homemade, okay? And I said it the last time and I'm not taking it back. That is true. Every other Kenyan said it as well. So if it's true that you were suffering so much at Miss Universe and you knew you had a poor wardrobe, one, why were you so confident that you were going to win Miss Universe and go to the top? The only way you have that kind of confidence is if you feel like, I'm ready. I am so ready, right? That's one. Two, if indeed you were really suffering and this is what was happening at Miss Universe, you had terrible clothes, why did you not respond to me? I was only reaching out as a pageant sis saying, please let me help you. Do you need anything? I'll bring you over clothes. I'll do something. Why did you ignore me? So you are like, you know what? I don't need your help. I'm just going to stick here with this crap that I know is crap and just like do my best. Why would you do that if someone is like, I can bring you other options? At least let me bring you the options. You just have a variety to choose from. There was even another designer, and I saw him there because we followed each other for years. His name is Gian Lasala from the Philippines. He said to you, Irene, why didn't you tell me anything? I even asked you, why, if you told me something, I would have given you something to wear. Why didn't you respond to him either? Because you had your own wardrobe that you thought was the ish. And then now that you went to Miss Universe, came back and faced so much backlash, you switch it up and then put it on the organization and lie that they never had anything for you. And so you had to do it yourself. And then you came up with these subpar outfits. That is the lie that right there. And if people employed their critical thinking skills, they'll see that. How are you so confident you are going to win? Why are you not accepting any help from anyone? If indeed it's true that you did not believe in the wardrobe that you had. I'm sorry, this is my pageant alma mater, and I feel like it was taken for a joke, and I don't think it's funny at all. And that's where you could have taken accountability and said, listen, I thought that I was on the right track with my inspiring outfits. I thought I was really onto something, but it was a lapse in judgment. But I promise you, I had the best intentions for my country. Now, please, I ask for your forgiveness. I'm sorry I let you down, but let's work together for the rest of my reign and let's just make the best of it. And let me show you what I'm made of, what I'm capable of. This is just the beginning of my journey as Miss Universe Kenya. I feel like Kenyans would have loved that message. They wouldn't have cared what else I have to say, what Miss Universe Kenya has to say. They'd be like, listen, okay, girl, we get it. You did your best. But instead, you came and said, listen, I was perfect. I did everything. They didn't give me nothing. In fact, I had to go and like beg and borrow and steal to be able to make this clothes, which I just ended up doing with Inspiring. But no, you knew what you were doing. And again, just like you did with Miss Africa Calabar, you put out a statement that you knew would paint you as a victim and make people immediately be anti-establishment, which is very common in Africa. We are always ready to get led down by these institutions. And it doesn't help that the owner of the Miss Universe Kenya pageant is a politician to begin with, who we are always grappling with and used to them oppressing us. So you knew if you play into this woe is me, that people will automatically side with you and believe it's them. And it's so sad because at the end of the day, what people don't realize is the people who are working with you day to day were those girls. And I met the entire team. That was my first time meeting those two girls. No, they were not my leak. I'll tell you about my leak later. But what I'm made to understand, and I do still believe that, yeah, the pageant was rigged in your favor because they really, it's their first time running this pageant. They really wanted a win, and they believed that with all your experience and the way you carry yourself and whatever, they really bought into your hype. And I believe that they rigged things to make sure that you win. Shoot me. I showed it last time, and now it's my firm belief. So do what you want to do. That's what I think. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the thought in my head, and it stays. Sorry. And it blew up in their faces because you, on the other hand, got so big headed. You felt like these people don't know what they're doing. And then you're looking at these girls, they're also fellow pageant girls who are there trying to help you. And I'm told that these girls, those two girls in that video and the other ones behind the scenes, I'm told they adored Irene. I'm told they were like a huge fans. Even the other contestants are complaining during boot camp. It was like they were just fangirling over her. They were Team Irene. They were fans, big time. They did everything to try and help you, but then you're looking at them as, oh God, because you're looking at them as peers, right? And you think that I have even more pageant experience than you. I've even won a pageant before this outside of Kenya. What can you tell me? So I think you daraud them. You know that Kenyan word? You look down on them and you did not take them seriously. Let's get on to the contract. Miss Irene claims that they tried to coerce her into signing a contract. Miss Universe Kenya says, no, we did not try to coerce her. What happened is she had signed the contestant contract along with every other girl. And I have proof of that because one of the girls actually sent it to me and then sent me screenshots of you telling her to send it to her at some point because you were trying to challenge the new contract. So they were trying to get you to sign the winner's contract. And a contract is supposed to protect both sides, really. So you did not want to sign any contract because you did not want to be tied down by Miss Universe Kenya. You wanted to be able to get whatever endorsements you want. You cannot do endorsements, sorry. You cannot do that. When you become Miss Universe Kenya for that 1 year, you are the front-facing representative of this organization. One, there are sponsors. And those sponsors might have a conflict of interest with other sponsorships that you get out there. So you cannot just go and tell them, listen, I don't want you to have a say when it comes to sponsorships that I take on. I want to do what I want. No, it might be in conflict with A, the organization, B, their sponsorships, and C, there are also things you're not supposed to do as a pageant holder. You're not supposed to do cigarette commercials, condom commercials, alcohol commercials. So what if one day you come to them and you're doing a trust condom commercial and they can't tell you, no, you can't do this. You want to do everything without their approval. That is absolutely diabolical. They have to be able to tell you that. And then other parts of the contract, you guys can go view their video. I'm not here to speak for them. And I'm not here to speak for Irene either. Go view both videos, but view them objectively and hear what each party is really saying. And then do a deduction instead of just following the comments there that are, honestly, they've been orchestrated to sway people's opinions. Like, just be an individual thinker. Because once we bring up the real issues on both sides, then we can demand better moving forward. And that's the side I've been on. I want the side that's going to do better for the next girl coming up, period. So you don't want to sign a contract where they do that at. You have to sign a contract as a winner of Miss Universe Kenya. You should negotiate the contract to make it be even more favorable to your terms, but to absolutely refuse to sign it and say that you're being coerced and basically be begged, I don't get it. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna start winding up. I want to just talk about the girls after this and wind up. One, Irene, if you thought this organization was so morally bankrupt for you and they were so incompetent and they had a terrible work ethic, etc., why go to Miss Universe? So you didn't know that before? Why did you spend all that time, taking notes and gathering evidence that you're going to use against them to show how incompetent they were as you go to Miss Universe? Why not resign before and say, I'm not going to represent my country under these circumstances? The reason you didn't do that is because you wanted to go to Miss Universe. And at the end of the day, it can be argued you deserve to go to Miss Universe, but also this title deserved to be respected and held till the very end. So if you felt like you couldn't do it, you should have stepped down before that and let the girl who was first runner-up, that everybody says was supposed to win anyway, at least go to Miss Universe. Miss Universe Kenya, when you crowned this girl and she refused to take on your contract, that should have been a disqualifiable offense right away. Two, when she refused to move into your home, oh yeah, I forgot to go into detail with this. Refusing to move into the current home is akin to if she went to Miss Universe and won Miss Universe, then now it was time to go move into that apartment in Manhattan, New York. And she gets there and she's like, you know what? Actually, I have an aunt that lives in the Bronx and Manhattan is kind of far from the Bronx, so I'm just gonna go be closer with my family. I'm not gonna take your apartment. Just give it to the fast runner up. Honestly, I'll just chill here with my family because that's too far. Do you think Miss Universe would agree to that? Now, first and foremost, they'd be like, out, out, out. If you're not moving in, you're gone. So Miss Universe Kenya, that's the second chance you had to also like take away the title and give it to someone who wants it. Irene, before you competed in this title, you knew what the price packages were. You knew you were going to get 1,000,000 shillings, which you had no problem taking and pocketing right away. You also knew that you would be moving into that townhouse. That was part of it. It was advertised. Now, when you refuse to move into that townhouse, it has negative implications on Miss Universe Kenya because this is probably something they got from a sponsor. What if they got it from a property management company that wanted to use that for their publicity? And then now they come back, the girl didn't move in there. She said it's too far. First of all, they'll be like, well, then we're never going to sponsor you. So forget about the money you got from us because that was a waste of time and effort. Now we can't even use this. We're not coming back. So they could have severed a tie with a potential sponsor right there. There are obligations for everything. All these monies that are raised to give you, they come from sponsorships. So you could have messed that up for them. So they should have let you go at that point. So both of you were disingenuous because you all let someone come in and tell you what's what when you're the actual employers and you have the upper hand. And Irene, as an employee, if you saw this organization was not aligning with you, you should have just like stepped back and said, you know what, I do not stand for this. I don't want to have anything to do with it. The truth is, you wanted to go to Miss Universe, and your plan was to go and win and go directly to New York. When that did not happen, you did not feel like this title was important anymore, which is why going back to the beginning of this video, you saw those people from other countries questioning this and saying, it looks like she just wanted to go to Miss Universe. Now that it's done, it's over. And for me, as a former pageant contestant, I feel like you're disrespecting our legacy. You're disrespecting the weight of our title. And you're showing these other girls coming up. You can just go to Miss Universe and just be like, meh, I'm done. When actually the real work starts after Miss Universe when you go so soon in your reign. So you dropped the ball, Irene. I don't think that your intentions were right. And Miss Universe Kenya, you dropped the ball as well. Because if she was that problematic, you should have had the wherewithal and the stillness in you to say, we're not putting up with this, you're out. I bet you've learned your lesson now. Now, let's move on to the things that the girls told me. I'm just going to put up these text messages because this video has gone on really long and I just don't want it to take forever. First allegation that every girl made, and I also confirmed this with the Miss Universe Kenya, and I'll be calling you out, Miss Universe Kenya. First allegation is during the boot camp, Irene hid her roommates. Her name is Mokera, and I'm going to post her picture here. She hid her roommate's national costume. Okay? So what happened was apparently there they are doing the preliminary competition. Miss Mokera's costume gets delivered. The delivery guy is trying to hand it to Mokera. She's nowhere to be seen. So Irene, her roommate, her trusted roommate, says, give it to me, I'll give it to her. Nipatie your costume tampe. So they give Irene the costume. Fast forward to now the girls are preparing and everything. Now it's time for the national costume segment of the competition. Miss Mokera is losing her mind, screaming everywhere. Guys, who's seen my costume? Who's seen my costume? Nani ako na costume yangu? Has anyone seen my costume? Guys, where's my costume? You can imagine she's freaking out. It was delivered, but I don't have it, guys. Where's my costume? Irene says nothing. This poor girl was so flustered, crying backstage, has nothing to wear. So the other contestants felt so sorry for her. They started stripping off pieces of their own national costume to help her. If you have extra bangles, give her some. If you have extra necklaces, like traditional necklaces, give her some. Then they took like a Maasai shuka, like a Maasai shawl, and they tied it on her, just made some makeshift national costume so she can at least walk on stage, this poor girl. So she goes on and does her best with what she has, obviously feeling crushed inside because the national costume she had designed and prepared just disappeared. Then after they come back from the national costume competition, here comes Irene. Oh, girl, I forgot. I did have your costume. Here it is. And this happened. Irene, don't you dare lie. This happened. Because I confirmed it. All the girls had told me this story, and then I confirmed it with the Miss Universe Kenya organization because I wanted to know how could they let this happen. And the girl said the only thing that Miss Universe Kenya did, it separated them. It took Irene to a different room and gave Mokera a new roommate. So they were aware of what happened. They were aware of the conflict. And instead of instantly disqualifying Irene for sabotaging her roommate, they just switched them. That goes to show you had an agenda for this girl to get to the end because she was your pre-picked and pre-selected winner. And it beat you in the butt, and that she is your karma. Irene is your instant karma, and Irene, what you did was wrong. It was trifling. And so the girls continue to write to me, and I'll just put up the text here as they go. I'll put up a text where Mokera, you can see her reacting in a group chat with her friends saying, guys, look at karma. Remember what happened with my national costume? Meaning, do you remember when she stole my national costume? Now look at the whole country going off on her about her national costume. And girl, you better bask in your karma, girl. Mokera, you better bask in it and be like, yep, thank you, Miss Karma, because that was karma. You sabotaged her national costume only to go and have a whole disaster with your own national costume on an international stage. So here, the girls are in a group chat, the former Miss Universe contestant girls, and they're talking, I think, about the whole Annie Cynthia debacle with the national costume. Remember, after that, there was also all the scandal with Kenyans complaining about the national costume and it coming out that apparently it had been lost. And so she's basically telling the girls, remember what happened with my national costume? Remember what she did to me? Remember what she did to me? So it's pretty much karma right there. Your own national costume never arrived. It's like the gods put it together. You stole that girl's national costume so she couldn't compete. The airline gods conspired and made sure that parts of your costume were lost so you could just go in with all. If that's not karma, girl, I don't know what is. And Miss Mokera, I hope you get to compete in the next competition because I understand Miss Mokera was one of the front runners of the competition until those preliminaries because her national costume was just rubbish. The one that the other girls helped her create backstage. And then you see, I'll put other text up here with the girls just kind of giving me their side of the story. But what's interesting is, so one of the girls writes to me. Actually, several of them told me, like, behind the scenes, like backstage before the winner was announced, they were all just supporting the first runner-up, Mercy Jerotich. They were all like, girl, you got this, girl, you're winning. Apparently, from what they tell me, this is now alleged, Irene was very standoffish and not friendly, like behind the scenes. She never used to do much to mingle with the girls, and she's giving very much this, apparently. And this girl was even telling me, I thought maybe she's an introvert, but part of me was like, it's also weird. But looking back now, it was just really just arrogance all around. She just didn't feel like they were good enough to interact with. And then you do that to another girl. So behind the scenes, here's a little video I'm going to post. So you'll see the girls behind the scenes. I'm going to try and hide their faces. But they're celebrating Mercy. They're like, Mercy, you're winning this. Mercy is the new Miss Universe Kenya. You're winning this. Because after that break, they're going to go and announce the winner. And all the girls were rooting for Mercy. They all wanted her to win because they did not like Irene behind the scenes. With everything that was transpiring. So when she did win, they were very disappointed because everybody wanted Jerotich to win. But also, as we saw, so did the judges probably. We saw the name of the back. Even the tech guy thought she'd won. So, how you like them apples? So all
right, there you have it. Please,
right,
just
clear
stay
the
off the stage.
please.
Stay off the
Please
stage.
clear the stage. Sorry, please clear the stage. Let's clear the stage. We'll get you to clear the stage, please. Thank you.
So, Miss Universe Kenya, you were dead wrong for that. Irene, you were dead wrong for that. And this one, I can't, like, that just shows your character right there. And I'm so sorry. It's giving your, your character gives, you know, when you watch a soap opera and that, like, quintessential, stereotypical, conniving, backstabbing, like, the villain, it gives that. Because why would you do that? And then you come and do this woishe thing, which Miss Universe Kenya is not perfect by any means, but they did try. And you did put their efforts here and there. You were both wrong, but like you put on a show for the whole country. And I don't care how many people get to see this. This is the actual truth and fact. Your history shows that you've done things like this before. I do not think that you were the right person to win. And now that you've resigned, I'm like, oh well, let's move on and wait for the next queen. Miss Universe Kenya, this is what you get. Last but not least, this part I cannot verify, but I'll show you the text. This girl, she was one of the contestants. She tells me that on a trip out of town, that Irene and her boyfriend confessed to her that apparently they were bragging that Irene had apparently bribed one of the corporate sponsors 2 million shillings to win this. And I brought it up with Miss Universe Kenya. I said, is that true? And they were shocked. They were like, if it is, we're going to get to the bottom of it. But they were like, we can't see how it could happen because honestly, the corporate sponsor who was involved in judging, they sent their top executive, and their top executive is this Muzungu European guy. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I just don't see a high-flying executive Muzungu guy being bribed 2 million bob for someone to win. But hey, maybe times are tough. I don't know. Things have changed. But that apparently was a claim. And even the girl came back and she was like, I don't know if they just, I was like, how are they affording it? She's like, okay, honestly, I don't know. Maybe they said it just to brag and make me feel a certain type of way. But she's like, I was literally in hospital fighting for my life. And I had to come out of hospital to compete because I didn't want to let people supporting me down. And when they told me this, it broke my heart because people were like people had gathered to changa for me to get the to fundraise for me to get the votes. People spend money coming from our hometown because she's not from Nairobi to come and like spend 2,000 shillings, 2,500 shillings a piece, and these are students just to support you, and then you don't even make it to the top 7. So I don't know, you take that with a grain of salt, but she did. That's the story I was told, and Miss Universe Kenya were like, okay, we'll look into it. That's absolutely shocking. But also when they said it to me, I don't know. But if it's true that you guys are bragging that you were already, you had everything in the bag already and that nobody was competition for you anyway, that's not cool. But I'll just put that in there for the sake of tea, okay? Um, but it just also goes to show how poorly the other girls think of her. But I do know that the costume part, that I can confirm that. The other part, I don't know. All right. Another thing that I also want to talk about is the leak in the Miss Universe organization. The girls that you saw in the video, they were not the leak. I actually met them just a day before that because when Irene's statement came out, I was like, okay, I need to work on a part 3, and now I need to speak to the actual organization. And I was like, I actually am demanding to have a meeting. Can I have, whether it's a Zoom meeting, WhatsApp meeting, something where I talk to the members of the team? The big man himself, Ababu, was there. The whole team was there, and they wanted to do it, I guess, to show me that they're willing to be transparent and really kind of like start telling their side of the story now. So I'm like, well, this person, we're being honest, this person has been my leak all along. Did you guys authorize that? And they're like, absolutely not. They were actually mad at her for giving me the leaks, and they did not know for a while who was leaking me this information. So what had happened was, honestly, I was on my stories just talking major ish because I was like every other Kenyan. In the beginning, I was talking major ish about the Miss Universe organization, the Miss Universe Kenya organization. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, the girl is not getting back to me, but you guys are messing up. Why is she looking like this? You guys are doing this. You guys, I was going in. And so here, this woman is just getting frustrated and like she, I guess, can't take it anymore because, again, behind the scenes, they are frustrated. But the organization itself was actually trying to stay quiet and just protect her and say nothing. They were just taking the heat. So she's the one who came. She finally balked and came and started talking to me around the national costume debacle, because again, there I was going in. I'm like, what's going on? So she tells me everything. Then she starts to just open up. And also, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Even though someone called me a bad journalist, I'm a pretty good journalist. I know how to make someone feel comfortable with me and like they can open up to me. That's how you get to the scoop. And she ended up she started slow, but she poured it out. And that's how we got here. By the time I'm coming to ask you guys, listen, have the tea. Do you want it? She had given me a lot of it. And they're like, yeah, we did not authorize that. We're trying to protect the queen. And I'm like, so I was like, so are you going to punish this person? Because in my opinion, I don't think you should. But of course, I'm going to say that because I got the tea, right? But I'm like, think about it. Think about it. Listen, if it was not for this person, these dialogues would not be getting hard right now. And if these dialogues were not getting hard, then we wouldn't have a public that's super interested in what's going on, that's going to be watching you to make sure that you give them the quality they want. You wouldn't have all this rammed up interest, but most importantly, you would not learn your lessons. You would not learn that we're not going to do this because the public is going to be watching you closely. Next time you crown a winner and behind there it says somebody else's name, the public is going to go in on you right away, okay? We're teaching the public that you guys owe us transparency and you guys owe the girls a fair chance, because then the girls wouldn't have come to me and told me all these things. In the grand scheme of things, it goes to the betterment of the pageant, which is great for the Miss Universe Kenya organization as well. So please just leave her alone. And I still feel like you should have been transparent anyway, so there wouldn't have to be leaks. Yeah. So that's my take on it. That's exactly how I got the information. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with the person, but I really feel like I put up a really good reason as to why they should let her be, because a whistleblower is always necessary in every organization when things are not going well, because that's what helps them grow. That's what helps them become better. And I feel like Kenyans thank this person, and I feel like the contestants thank this person. And as a former title holder, I thank her as well, because now the organization wanted to be open with me, and I asked them questions, you guys. I was like, what's with the name fiasco? And I told them straight up, why did you favor this person? Why did you make it obvious to the other girls this was going to be your choice? And in the end, what happened with the whole name debacle? Why is it so clear that the first runner-up was supposed to win and you guys did what you did? Of course, they denied it and tried to say, well, no, it was fair. We did not set her up to win. We did not pre-select her. But I'm like, I know what I know. I know what I know. Okay. And I also found out that these girls, like the team is comprised of, so you saw those two young women who are basically her peers in the industry and others, but they adored her. One of those girls had supported Irene's ascent into pageantry from the very beginning, because she owns like this something like a blog about beauty pageants KE or something. So they also are like, this is our girl, you've been supporting us since forever. And so they really wanted you to do well. But I think Irene was like, oh, please, you only went to Miss Earth. And I don't know what you've done, but I won Miss Africa. And then on top of, I won Miss Africa Calabar. And then on top of that, top 20. You can tell me nothing. I don't know. But it seems like she just thwarted the authority and did not want to take anything from them because she knew better. But I thought that it would be great for me to explain exactly how the leak came about. And it was not the organization giving me the leak. It was one person in the organization who just couldn't take it anymore. And I don't blame it, because people were looking to me to speak on it as the most authority at the time, right? Because nobody else is talking about it. The media is not talking about it. And I'm just kind of having these conversations on my stories. And they're over there pulling their hair out like, that's not even what's going on, though. I'm not hearing from the queen, and they came and I heard from them through her. You know what I mean? So that's it. All right. So that brings me to the conclusion of this video. I just don't feel like there's anything else I want to talk about. To anyone who has a problem with me speaking on this pageant and being outspoken, you're just going to have to deal, okay? Because I said what I said. I'm sorry that you're mad that when I speak, people talk about it. The news talks about it. It's what's been happening since 2005. That's my light. It shines. You cannot take it away from me. And I do care about this pageant, and I do care about what goes on back home. If you think that it's beneath me, then that's something for you to deal with, because I'm very proud of where I'm from, okay? And to the Irene Comment Mafia, my platforms are not a democracy for you to come and run game. If I notice the same patterns going on, yeah, your comments will not be allowed. Be original. Don't all come posting the same thing, all 20 of you. It's like annoying. And also, if you do really care about Irene, like this is to her business partner and her boyfriend who are going back and forth with me so hard. Where were you when she was making decisions to go and take this flimsy outfits to Miss Universe? Hata heri mgenda gikomba mnunue nguo. None of you has any sense around there to be like, okay, fine, maybe you don't like the Miss Universe Kenya clothes, but can we just buy you backups from the stores, which at least will be well put together, something, you know? Where were you? Or do you just like let her make decisions and then just like coddle her through those decisions and then like fight for her and try to gaslight other people? And to other Kenyans who I know, so because I see, it's like all the Kenyans who wanted to express themselves with similar sentiments to mine only felt comfortable doing it under my page because everywhere else they were getting attacked. I want to encourage you to stand up for something. Never be swayed with the crowd. Because one thing Kenyans like to do is they follow each other in unison. Let's all do this now. Let's all do this now. Let's all do this now. But then they're always complaining about the outcome. So I want to encourage more people to start being renegades and to have a mind of their own and to be able to call out something. Just because she made a woisha video and now everybody is pitying her, when you know, like you're thinking and you're saying 1 + 1 doesn't necessarily equal 2, doesn't mean it should be right. And as a former Miss Universe Kenya, I'm saying I think what you did was disgraceful, and I don't care who in your friends is gonna come in my comments and whine and cry. I'm still gonna be living my life here in LA, and I'm going to be having a fabulous rest of the year, darling. I'm going to Mexico. My birthday is coming up. I'm about to be 39. I'm ringing in the last year of my 30s, and I'm gonna do it to the fullest, honey, okay? So I don't care what anyone has to say, and I will always speak. And to the people who like, there's a certain group of very bitter people that have been following me since the pandemic, and they know themselves, and there's a certain place they like to congregate under some comment sections of some blog and talk about me. I want to let you know that I never read that stuff, one, and two, I love it for you that every time something happens and you see someone going against me, you go so hard in those comments. Yes, today we've got her, we're finally gonna destroy her. Comment, say the worst. And then it just dies down, and then Rachel is in the news again and you're crashing out again. Because I cannot stay out of the news if I try. I be trying my best to mind my business, but I am an opinionated person. And listen, you don't know this, but I get it from my father, okay? May he rest in peace, but like literally he lost his life because when he believed in something, he has to speak for it. He was a Tanzanian politician, and that's a story for another day. But unfortunately, I have that thing with me. And I see it with my brother in Tanzania too. Like if I believe in something, if I see something, I will speak, okay? And some of you can never speak or make a change in anything. All you can ever do is chime in. A lot of you are experts at standing on the shores and watching people swimming in the ocean way down there and criticizing them. You're not swimming right. You need to do a backstroke there. Girl, that backstroke was trash. That's all you know how to do, but you never get in there and actually make a change. So for you, you are spectators, remain spectators and remain haters. But I'm just happy to know that I'll always give you something to be mad about because you will never stop nothing over here. You've been trying since 2020 and it's never worked. Like at some point, it has to occur to you that, I'm going nowhere. I try to be quiet and mind my business, but once in a while, I'll just say my opinion on something and it will be something, and you guys will hop on it. Let's destroy her. This is the end of her. Ah! And then she goes nowhere. And she's still fabulous. And you'll still see me interviewing celebrities in Hollywood tomorrow. You'll still see me doing the most tomorrow. I'll still be driving my Porsche tomorrow. I'll still be in a bikini poolside in Mexico tomorrow. My life will continue to be fabulous and blessed. And by God's grace, I will have a little one next year. We're trying really, really hard. Like, a little TMI, but I'm probably going to be starting my IVF process soon. So I tried everything naturally, but now it's time to go that way. And God keeps blessing me because I try to live in truth and I also speak my mind. And I hope that everyone here learns how to free themselves of the shackles of groupthink and just be able to express yourself. So that's all I'm going to say on this matter. For as long as Miss Muki doesn't come for me in any way and try to act like I did something maliciously against her, then this is going to be the end of it for me. But if you try to like tarnish my name or decide, oh, this is going to be an ass fight, I'm very stubborn. I'm as stubborn as a goat. In fact, I am a goat. I'm a Capricorn. We're the goat sign and we are known for being stubborn. I will stand on my truth. I just believe that there was some aspects of what you did that were disgraceful and I'm not afraid to call it out. And you guys need to also acknowledge the fact that most people in Kenya won't speak the way I'm speaking. They'd be too afraid of speaking against the Miss Universe Kenya organization. Why? Because the figurehead is a powerful politician. Or they'll be afraid of speaking because all of Kenya is pitying Irene right now, so they'll go against them. I have nothing to lose or gain. I don't need a job with Miss Universe Kenya. I don't need, at the end of the day, like I've been in this game long enough to know whether people love me or hate me or agree with me. I still continue to thrive. So I speak because I have nothing to fear. And when you see someone do that, because I know a lot of people agree with me, also be in the habit of backing that up because that's how we'll see a change. That's what happened with Maandamano and Finance Bill. Let's do it in every sector of our industries in Kenya. And in the pageant world, I'm letting you know this, I will always speak on Miss Universe Kenya. And if I see some nonsense, I'm speaking out on it. But guess what? What I want is to now support the pageant. I want to support the girls going into the next round of auditions. I want to support the process, and when the girl wins, I want to support her as well. And I want the next story to be a beautiful, positive one. And I want us to get a beautiful, humble, gracious queen who we can all be proud of, and who will not just think this is just a stepping stone to getting a trip to go walk on a stage with other girls. Okay? So with that said, I said what I said in my Nini Licks voice, okay? And if you're mad about it, what you gonna do though? Okay, what's next for you though? What's next for you though? Okay, because I know what's next for me. What's next for me is I'm signing out. Then I'm gonna have a lot of editing to do. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of editing to do. Then I'm gonna put this out for you. But after this, I am done, and I'm now winding down the rest of my year. I wish you all a fabulous rest of your 2024. You only have about 3 weeks left in this year. Make them count. And whatever you don't do, don't worry. You can start all over again in 2024. And to all my Capricorn bays, happy upcoming Capricorn season. Hey. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And stay tuned to Extra Access TV. I actually have something really exciting coming up in 2024. You guys will see, on top of the usual celebrity stuff that we do. But 2025, it always takes me a while to get used to the new year. But yeah, stay tuned and let's see what happens. Okay, you guys? Thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Kwaherini. Goodbye. Ciao, ciao. Adios. Buenos noches. Gute Nacht. All of it. Bye. Listen, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Wish me a happy birthday. Mine's coming up on the 30th. Let's finish out this year well. Bye.